Hey, what's up, everybody? Thunderfist 1978 coming at you here on a Monday evening. Hope everybody's had a great day so far. And I just now noticed that the console capture is not cooperating tonight. Give me just a moment while I get that corrected. Apologies, folks. It slips my mind practically every single time that after using one of the retro cabs like the Astro City Mini like we used last night, I have to re, like disconnect the capture card and then reconnect it in order to get everything up and running again. But as you can see, tonight's game on tap is Memoire, the Oath in Felghana. We're finally here, folks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved playing through Memories of Celceta again, but this one right here is just like one of my all-time favorites in the series. Partly because I think part of the reason for that is that it's the first game in the series that I owned and that I actually played. Well, not this particular version, of course, but the SNES version, which came out around 1991. But same story. So Adol was 18 when Adol was 18 when. All right, hold on just a second, folks. I will be right back with you. All right, there we go. I I couldn't hear anything from the game with the headset on, so I wanted to go ahead and switch it over. Apologies for the short delay there, but this game takes place like shortly after Memories of Celceta. But I don't think Memories of Celceta, one of my big hangups with it is it didn't establish how or when Adol regrouped with Dogi. But as we know, Adol's been traveling with Dogi ever since the events of the first two East games. He met Dogi during that particular adventure, only in the North American TurboGrafx version, he's called by a different name. But they did that for a lot of characters. But so they've regrouped. We know Adol was 18 during the events of Memories of Celceta. I'm guessing he's probably like either 19 or 20 in this game, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Hopefully it'll give us some kind of context with how far after Memories of Celceta this game takes place. But here we go.
Do you know the name Adol Christin? Adol Christin. From the time he left his homeland at age 16 to the final years of his life, he surrendered each and every day of his existence to fate, wandering the world in search of his next adventure. His exploits have been meticulously chronicled in over 100 volumes of personal travelogue, detailing where he'd been, what he learned, These are not tall tales, but factual accounts. Each volume is comprised of a simple, honest assessment of events, with an emotional detachment that affords the reader a certain degree of personal interpretation. Yet, despite Adol's dry and humble candor, all who read of these brave new worlds, these exotic landscapes and encounters, come away from the experience. Indeed, 'tis as if the reader is right there with him, feeling just as he must have felt. The events I shall now recount took place a mere 3 years after Adol Christin set out on his first adventure. Collectively, these accounts are known as the Felghana Archives. I invite you to take up Adol's sword as if it were your own, and allow yourself to become immersed within his words. Imagine if you were he.
Okay, so this is about a year after Memories of Celceta. Because you do the math and he would be 19 now. So Adol and Dogi.
Adol, here we are. This is Felghana.
And this is Dogi's homeland.
I was hoping we'd get here a little earlier in the day, but I wasn't expecting the waters to be so rough.
So as I understand it, Dogi has been away from his hometown for about 10 years or so. That's what the manual to the original East 3 says.
Still, this place does bring back memories. Hard to believe it's really been 8 years since I left.
Okay, now they're saying it's 8 years. But at least we got that established.
There's Margot, I always called her Mams, and old Gardner. Not to mention Chester and Elena. I wonder how they're doing after all this time. Oh man, what the hell happened here?
Now, Elena, I've always pronounced her name Alina, so that's a habit I'll have to get myself out of.
This monument's dedicated to the god of safe journeys.
Okay, that I can see where he'd be troubled.
It's a relic of the old religion, from when people believed that spirits existed even in stuff that wasn't alive. I just don't get why anyone would deface it like this, though. I guess maybe the rumors really are true.
Rumors? What's he talking about?
What was that? It came from over there. Hey, wait up, Adol!
Come on, Dogi. You've known Adol for how long and you didn't see this coming?
Damn it, left behind again. No way. You gotta be kidding me. What the hell are monsters doing in Felghana?
Monsters? Here? What are they doing this close to town?
Uh-oh.
Chester?
All right, so X jump or X swings, circle jumps. You okay? Uh-oh, here comes some more. Boost mode. Press triangle when it reaches 100%. Both the speed and strength of Adol's attacks will increase significantly. With proper timing, up to 10 consecutive hits may be landed on a single foe. Adult will only take half damage and will suffer no knockback or interruption when hit by enemies. Well, that's good to know.
Excuse me. Thank you very much for saving me.
You okay?
You're a traveler, aren't you? Are you hurt at all?
Hey!
Doggy.
Are you alright, Adol?
Of course he is.
Right when you ran off, I got attacked by monsters too.
Oops. Sorry. Sorry for not coming back to help.
I'd like to know what the hell those things are doing in Felghana. Whoops. Excuse me. I guess they must have been after you. Are you okay, miss? You don't look like you're hurt, at least.
That look on her face. Does she recognize him?
Huh? What's wrong? Something on my face? Am I, like, covered in monster gore? We should probably get moving and head to town before we're attacked again. I can't say I recognize your face. You've got to live in Redmont, I figure.
Now see, Redmond, that's what they call his hometown in the SNES release, but they changed the name in the Genesis release. I'm starting to think that by and large, the SNES version had the names right and the Genesis version didn't. For a long time, I thought it was the other way around.
Dogi? I knew it. I must be dreaming. Dogi, you're actually back. What have you been doing all this time?
Hey, hold on a second now. You obviously know me, but do I know you?
Obviously, how else would she know your name?
How can you even say that? You, me, and my brother used to play together all the time when we were kids. Don't you dare tell me you've forgotten.
Oh, no way! When I last saw you, you were just a skinny little tomboy.
Well, that was 8 years ago. I'm 17 now.
Man, you sure are.
Now wait. Dogi's older than Adol. I wonder how much older he was than Elena. Because Adol's about 19 at this point. That would put Dogi somewhere in his early 20s, I would imagine, like 22, 23. Trying to kind of trying to get everything straight here.
I'm sorry, where are my manners? It's nice to meet you. And again, thank you very much for your help. My name is Elena. Elena Stoddart.
In my time, I've wandered everywhere. Around this world, hope would always be there. Okay, so that's the gypsy caravan they came across. And then Dogi had his fortune told. And the crystal ball shattered, which was kind of an unsettling sight. It doesn't look like they're gonna tell that, but that's what I saw in East 3 on the SNES and Genesis. They started hearing rumors about stuff happening in Felghana, and then Dogi decided to have his fortune told, and the crystal ball shattered while the gypsy was trying to tell his fortune. And when she came to, she gave his money back, and they basically decided, we've got to go see what the heck is going on there. This is yet another adventure in the life of Adol Kristen. It looks like it's largely a port of the PSP release, which came out around 2010, I'm wanting to say. Yeah, it was 2010. Because I do remember getting it around that time. It came out on PSP shortly after East 7 did. Okay, so they're walking to the gates of Redmond.
Eleanor, where have you been? You had me worried sick, staying out so late.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gardner. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I just...
It's okay, Eleanor. As long as you're all right, we'll pretend this never happened.
Mighty sporting of him.
So, who are your two friends? I don't believe I recognize either one of them.
Look a little closer. You'll get it in a second.
Huh?
Hey there, Gardner! Still standing at the gate like always, I see.
Wait! Dogi! Is that really you?
Yeah, I guess I've been a little out of touch. Sorry.
My favorite little troublemaker has come home! Where have you been all this time? And what have you been up to?
Well, you know, wandering, killing monsters, saving the world. The usual.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, I brought a pal of mine along. Go on, Adol, introduce yourself.
Hello there.
Adol introduced himself to Gardner.
An adventurer, eh? Well, that's certainly a rarity. But from the looks of that sword on your belt, I can tell you're no amateur.
No, he's quite remarkable.
And she got like a glimpse of his abilities. So she's speaking from experience here.
I was attacked by monsters just now, and he came right to my rescue.
Is that a fact? Well then, you have my thanks, good sir. I'm sorry I wasn't there to help. That's the problem with gate duty. You miss all the real trouble out in the field.
Does raise a point worth discussing, though. Why are there monsters here in the first place? We'd heard rumors that Felghana's fallen on hard times. But I had no idea it had gotten so bad.
Yeah, things certainly aren't looking up these days. It's been pretty bad for around a year now. We're rarely visited by anyone anymore as a result. No travelers, No merchants.
Man, that sucks.
Well, it's getting late. You can tell me all about where you've been and what you've done come morning. For now, you should head on in and get some sleep. I bet you're exhausted after what you've been through.
I love how they keep the original songs just like redone. Okay, the sign says open, but
This place sure hasn't changed much either. I used to live and work at this inn when I was a kid. I owe Mams a lot for looking after me back then. Hey, Elena, go get Chester, would you? I haven't seen him in so long, and we can't have a reunion party if everyone's not here.
ooh, looks like he touched on a sore subject.
I'm sorry. He's not in town right now.
What? Oh, no way. Oh well, what can you do? He's probably pretty busy.
I'm afraid I'll be taking my leave for the night as well. My long absence likely had a few people worried, so I really should let them know I'm okay.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll be fine here for the night. We're probably gonna hang out a little before we go to bed. By the way, are you and Chester still living with the mayor?
Oh no, he and I have a house on the edge of town now. It's just...
Something wrong?
Oh, it's nothing, really. I guess I'll be off then. It was nice to meet you, Adol, and good to see you again, Dogi. I know you two must be tired from your journey. Please, take it easy and get some rest, okay?
She's acting kind of strange. Probably just been a rough day for her. Man, though, she sure has filled out nicely. And she's got that whole childhood friend thing going for her, too.
Dogie.
Who am I kidding, though? She's gonna fall for you, not for me. That's always how it goes. Let's just get inside.
I wonder if Adol ever actually settled down with anyone. If he did, oh, she recognized him right off.
I can't believe it! It's really you! My little nightmares come home!
I was about to say before Margot started talking that if Adol ever did settle down with someone, we haven't seen it happen yet. But there's probably a lot of story left to tell. So who knows what's going to happen in the coming years.
And look at those muscles! You've grown so big! Last time I saw you, you were just a pudgy little brat.
Yeah, it's me. I'm back. You're looking well.
You know, I haven't heard a peep out of you since you left. Would it be so much to ask for some kind of contact? A letter at least if you couldn't visit.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mams.
Well, I always figured you'd do well for yourself. It certainly is nice to see you back safely, though. And you're a friend of Dogi's, then?
Adol gave his name and explained that he had been traveling with Dogi for quite some time. About 3 years, if I remember correctly.
I see. Well, thank you for looking after our little wayward wanderer. Unfortunately, you've arrived at a pretty bad time. Lots of unpleasant business going on lately.
I wonder what she knows, if she'd be willing to share it.
But still, happy events like these are rare, so I intend to enjoy this while I can.
Ma'ams.
Ma'ams. it's just so funny to me the way that came out of his mouth. Ma'ams.
You two boys must be hungry. Let me fix you up a nice big meal, and you'd better clean your plates if you know what's good for you.
So then, how is the investigation coming along?
You have nothing to worry about, my lord. We've already confirmed their locations. The Tigray Quarry, the Obern's Ruins, and the Sacred Mountains of Eldurn. All that now remains is to organize the men and begin our search in earnest.
Oh, I know what he's talking about now.
Excellent, excellent. Once I possess what I seek, my might and majesty will be known far and wide. Indeed, perhaps my homeland could lay claim to all of Europa. Either way, this certainly should be an enjoyable undertaking. Wouldn't you agree?
In your hands, my lord. I'm certain that dream will become a reality.
Indeed it will. Indeed it will. I leave the search in your hands. Make certain it continues without interruption.
Yet another ruler thirsty for more power and prestige.
I expect good news forthwith.
Probably more the latter. I mean, he does already seem like he's got plenty of power. He just wants to, well, no, because he wants to take over all of Europa. So, yeah, dude just ain't happy with what he's got. We all know how stories like this end up.
You do me great honor. I pledge you my success, Lord Memoire. I shall see to it that your faith in me is not misplaced.
So, Adol, while I'm here, I think I'm gonna swing by the Eldurn Mountains for a bit to visit my old master. He's the one who taught me everything I know about fighting, back when I was a kid. If anyone would know the reason for all the monsters showing up around here, he'd be the one. I won't be gone long, though. You should relax and tour the town. It's a really nice place. If you have any questions, you can ask Elena. She said her house was on the outskirts of town, so I'm sure it won't be too tough to find. I'm off for now. See you later, buddy.
All right, let's see here. No, we can't save. I wanted to go back to the title screen. Oh, hey, you're the guy who took the room next door last night, aren't you? You've got some guts, I'll say. Certainly not every tourist season in Felghana. Certainly not tourist season in Felghana right now. Name's Antonio. I'm here on business from the Roman Empire. Have you ever heard of a thing called Ravel Ore? It's a really high-quality rock mineral native to this region. That's also the reason I'm here. Don't get me wrong, I'm as interested as the next guy in all the old legends and historic landmarks and such. And like anywhere else, Felghana's got a fair share of buried treasure stories. But Ravelor, that's the real deal. Okay, I wondered if maybe he would tell us more, but it doesn't look like he's going to. You're Adol. Margot told me about you. She says you're a close friend of Dogi's, and an adventurer no less. Well, you certainly picked quite a time to come to Felghana. Plenty of bad tidings these days. Strange weather's been wreaking havoc with our harvest, and monsters have been running around all over the place. Nobody knows what's next, and nobody really wants to know. Consider yourself lucky that you're just visiting. Good morning. Did you sleep well? I guess Dogi's already gone out, Lord knows where. Still can't ever sit still, that boy, even after all these years. He has grown the muscles of a man, but he's still got the head of a hyperactive little brat. He hasn't gotten you into trouble during your travels, has he? Thanks to Count McDumbass, I came all the way here from Garmin for no damn reason at all. Got something on your mind, Red? You ain't gonna try to make me stop drinking, are you? You better not. This bottle's the only friend I got. Let's take a look at the trophies. Alright, so 500 enemies, 300 hits in a combo. Okay, that's going to be tough. All swords, shields, and armor. That's not going to be so bad. Let's see, 100,000 gold at once. 20 hours of playtime. That shouldn't be too bad. 10,000 hunks of Ravelor every chest. Raised Adol to max level. Filled out the entire monster log, character log. And then most of the rest of these will probably just be travels. Watch the prologue novella in the museum. We gotta do that. Unlocked all gallery illustrations in the museum. Okay. So some of these are gonna be either tough or time consuming.
Welcome. Well, what have we here? Are you a traveler by any chance? That sword looks like it's seen a lot of action. You should have it fixed up. This store deals in weapons and armor, along with a handful of our own specially selected curios.
Okay, this is a little different from the SNES version because there was a weapons and armor shop in the SNES version, and then there was a separate shop that dealt with items, and her shop dealt just with the items in the SNES version.
The boss is a bit eccentric, but you'll be hard-pressed to find a better smithy anywhere else in the world.
So getting something smithed to its maximum amount is probably a trophy, I would guess.
He's choosy about his clientele, though, so don't be offended if he turns you away at first. Just keep at him.
What do you want? I'm Adonis. I own this shop, and if my appearance hasn't given it away yet, I'm happy to confirm that yes, I'm a smithy. Huh. From the looks of that sword, you know what you're doing, at least. But I make it a rule to refine weapons and armor for people I like, and only people I like. Sorry, but you may as well just head home.
What, you're still here? Why don't you just go home?
Welcome.
So we've got 11 gold. Okay. We need 800 gold for the longsword, which that's a bit different from the SNES version. In the SNES version, it was the broadsword you could buy, and the longsword was something you had to find. Ditto for the Bandit Slayer. Let's see, the SNES version, I think you could buy, there was a wooden shield you could purchase, along with the large shield and the banded shield. The plate mail you had to find in the SNES version, but the chainmail and banded you could buy.
Don't be a stranger.
Oh, he's got the wooden sword already. Never mind. Ditto for the leather armor. See, all that stuff you had to buy in the SNES and Genesis version. You were given 1,000 gold at first, which was just enough to buy a short sword, wooden shield, and leather armor. But you come standard equipped with them. Welcome in, Catman. Good to see you. Oh, hello. You're Dogi's friend, right? They said you were a dashing swordsman, but you're even cuter than I'd expected. I'm sorry we can't meet you with bigger smiles. Not only was the harvest awful this year, but our taxes are up again. I don't know how I'm going to keep food on my family's table at this rate. You missed the intro. That's pretty much it. To top it off, the Lord of the Land has ordered the quarry closed indefinitely, so my husband's totally unable to work. Although, I am planning to, as soon as we can save, I am planning to watch the novella, so we can see what led up to everything, because the game wasn't really clear on it when, when we started. It's like our hands are tied here, and we're just waiting to starve. Oh, it's her.
What do you want with me, stranger? Please just leave me be. You're too young to have gone deaf. Please, just get out of here. Leave me be.
And she's not explaining it like she does in the SNES and Genesis versions. But there is a reason she doesn't want to see somebody the age of Adol. Pickards. Hey, mister. Are you friends with that big mass of muscles my daddy tells me is named Dogi? I assumed all of his friends would be circus strongmen, but you don't look like a circus strongman at all. But you're an adventurer, right? Which means you go exploring new lands and fighting monsters with that sword? Can I be your adventuring partner? I promise I'll be real helpful. I'll fend off monsters with my Pickard power. I'm always playing adventurer, so I know just what it's like. The enemies will be all like, "Arr!" and I'll be like, "Bam!" Well, he's certainly got spirit. I'll give him that. Ah, hello. You're that swordsman who traveled alongside Dogi, no? The name's Harold. I'm a local merchant. Pretty good one, too. Redmond is known for a local ore called Ravel, and I'm one of the best Ravel salesmen there is. Or I was, anyway, till all this mess in the quarry came about. The accident, the monsters, the closure edict. Sure would be nice if this could all get settled soon so I could start making a living again. Hey, I found Mr. Red! Amazing! Elena told me your hair was super red like fire. And I didn't believe her, but she was right. You wanna play a game with me, Mr. Adel? Daddy's gone to the quarry and I'm just so bored. No one's in here. So Dogi came back after hearing all the nasty rumors about Felghana, did he? That's all well and good, but he just up and left us 8 years ago. And I don't forgive and forget so easily. Besides, it's just monsters. In my day, we fought off much bigger beasts using nothing but tree branches. For fun. Mayor Edgar's got the right idea. He's out at the quarry with my son checking up some weird monument we unearthed. Not going to let the Count or a few piddly monsters tell him what to do. No, sir. We miners are tough. We can take care of ourselves. Count McGuire's just being a damn tyrant trying to close the place. Thanks for collecting your daily Chowok crest, Catman. Very much appreciated. So you might have gathered a few tidbits of what's going on based on what was just said, but there's apparently a novella. We're going to watch it so you can get a clearer picture of what exactly is going on here. Like I said, the game didn't do a very good job of explaining it, at the beginning. Thank goodness I've played the older versions of the game, so I know what's going on. Yeah, like I said, this is one of my favorite games just because it was the first one I ever got to experience, and it was the first one I ever owned, but not this particular port.
Oh, good morning, Adol. Is Dogi not with you today?
No, he took off.
Dogi is.
Adol explained that Dogi had gone to visit his old master in the Elder Mountains.
Oh, that's... Well, it's not very nice of him, to be honest. He hasn't even shown you around yet. But that's Dogi for you. 8 years ago, he suddenly decided he simply had to go on a journey of self-discovery. To become a man, he said. I wasn't fond of the idea myself, but Chester sternly opposed it. The two of them got into quite a scuffle. They did make up right as Dogi was about to leave, though. To be honest, I have something I need to tell Dogi. Remember yesterday when I said Chester was out of town? Well, that's true, but he actually hasn't been back in over 6 months. He left a note for me on the day he vanished. It just said, I won't be back for a while. I haven't heard anything from him at all since then. Not a word. I'm not sure how to tell Dogi after he came all this way. Sorry. I don't mean to dump all my apprehensions on you. When he gets back, I guess I'll just have to give it to him straight. I'm sure Dogi will take the news well after all he's seen and done with you. As well as he can, anyway.
Okay, so one final place to go.
Oh, you must be Adol. It's nice to meet you. I'm Father Jean-Pierre, pastor of this church. Elena's had quite a lot to say about you. I understand you're the one who saved her when she was ambushed by a pack of monsters. For that, I must truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm certain Elena had her reasons for being out so late. She denied any, of course, claiming it was just a flight of fancy, but I feel there's more to it than that. If I pressure her to tell me things she wishes to hide, though, I can see no good coming of it. But I digress. Please forgive me. This is our very first meeting, and here I am babbling away. May God's blessings be with you in your travels. If anything ever troubles you, always remember, the church's doors are open. Come by any time, day or night.
Oh,
don't believe we've met. Which means you must be Adol, that friend of Dogi's I've been hearing so much about. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Nell, and I'm a devotee of the church. Is it true that you saved Elena from a pack of wild monsters? Words cannot express how thankful we are for that. I've pledged myself to this church for many a year, and have known the Stoddart children since they were very little. They've always regarded me as a big sister to them, sister with a small s, that is. And I've always regarded them in kind, which is why traumatic events like last night's unpleasantness affect me so.
I think we've spoken with everyone in town at this point. So the little girl who wanted us to play with her, I wonder if we talk... Where is she? I was gonna try talking to her again.
What?
Now what's going on?
How many were there? I'm not sure, but there were definitely a lot. More than I've ever seen before.
Something's going on. Figures. I promised vast quantities of Ravel ore to my backers. I show up in the land of Ravel, everything goes to hell. Oh my, sounds like some bad news from the quarry. We've already gone through so much. What's next? Destructive winds? This is terrible. I came out to see what was going on, but with all the shouting and panicking and such, what in the world happened? Oh man, this really sucks. Why was Ricardo so shook up? What happened to him? Hey, Adol. I'm afraid our chat about your adventures will have to wait. Something's just come up, and I haven't had the foggiest idea what I'm going to do about it.
Who are you?
What happened here?
Adol introduced himself and asked what was happening.
Monsters started gushing out of one of the deep mine shafts in the Tigre quarry. That's east of here. We only just barely made it out of there alive. But Mayor Edgar is still inside.
That's not good. We gotta save him.
So Dewey, that's the head miner, asked me to go into town and get some help. Anybody who's willing and able.
I'll do it.
Dogi could do this job easily, but he left town a short while ago. Probably too far away to track him down now.
We know where he's at.
I can't go myself either, since I'm the only one trained in defensive combat around here. I've got to guard the town. Adol, I hate to ask, but we could really use your strength.
Hold on a second. There it is. It's looking for my water bottle.
Would you put your adventurous skills to use for us and check out the quarry in my place?
Yes, please. It would mean a great deal to me as well. The mayor, Dewey, and even Paul are in grave danger right now.
Now, who is Paul? That's a name I don't recognize.
Consider it done.
Thank you so much for this. I can't even imagine how to repay you.
We're in your debt, Adol. Here, I've got a map of Felghana. You might need it.
And there's our first key item of the game.
You should also make sure you're well prepared, as it sounds like you'll be fighting some monsters in there. Take this, and use it to get your equipment refined. Go talk to Adonis, the town's smithy. Tell him I sent you, or he probably won't give you the time of day.
I was about to say, how am I supposed to get him to work on my equipment when he just blew me off before?
He's a stubborn one, but he knows how to pound metal like nobody's business. Your equipment's in good hands with him. I do hate asking you to put your life at risk for us, but we need you right now. Show us what you're made of, adventurer.
Okay, so we know where to find him.
Oh, it's you again. Doesn't matter how many times you talk to me. I pick and choose my own clientele, and I do not choose you.
Gardner says otherwise.
Well,
Adol relayed Gardner's message.
You serious? Gardner sent you? Guess that means you'll take good care of my work, if nothing else. Well, if Gardner says you're good news, then you're good news. Gotta do what the old guy asks. I can augment your sword, armor, and shield here. Just hand them over, and I'll make them better. Well, if you got enough Ravel ore for the job, anyway. Monsters often get it stuck in their fur or claws and will drop it when killed. Or sometimes it's just lying around. I'll have to charge you a service fee too, though, or else Cynthia's gonna put up a fuss like you wouldn't believe. And the price varies per piece, as we've got this whole quality chart system in place. Don't ask me, it was her idea. So, what have you got for me? You're part of my clientele now, Adol Kristen, so feel free to come on by anytime you need work done.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Let's get the sword refined.
Good to go. Come again.
Much obliged, Mr. Gardner. If you keep following the road to the east, you'll find the Tigray quarry in no time. It's real easy to get to. You'll likely run into some monsters on the way, though, so you may want to get your equipment looked at before leaving. All right. Oops. Let's go check out this prologue. Do you know the name Adol Kristen? Ah, Adol Kristen. He was a swordsman and adventurer born over 1,000 years ago in a small mountain village in northeast Europa. From his boyhood days to his final years, he surrendered each and every moment of his life to fate, always looking for a new adventure. Hey, welcome in, Cloud. Good to see you tonight. We're looking at the novella before we go any further in the story, because the game didn't do a very good job of setting the story up, I don't think. I'm hoping this will. Tales of his exploits can be found in the histories of almost every world culture, though interpretations do vary quite wildly. For every record that identifies him as a just and virtuous hero, there is another that bans him as an emissary of chaos and disorder. Were these divergent accounts the only references available, it would be most difficult to paint an accurate picture of the man. Fortunately, there are other, far more reliable sources of information on the life and times of Adol Kristen. I speak, of course, of his own personal travelogues, which number well over 100. His many adventures have been meticulously chronicled therein, thoroughly detailing every person, place, and event of note. These are not tall tales, but factual accounts. Each volume is comprised of a simple, honest narrative, with an emotional detachment that welcomes personal interpretation. Yet despite Adol's dry and humble candor, all who read of these brave new worlds come away with the experience deeply affected. Indeed, 'tis as if the reader is right there with him, feeling just as he must have felt. The events I shall now recount took place a mere 3 years after Adol Christen set out on his first adventure. Collectively, these accounts are regarded by scholars as the Felghana archives. I invite you to take up Adol's sword as if it were your own and allow yourself to become immersed within his words. Our story begins with two travelers standing atop a hill overlooking the ocean. As they stood, the breeze from Siena Bay washed over them, bringing with it the salty scents of the sea. These sights and sounds and smells all mixed together to create a sense of wonderment, reinvigorating their travel-wearied hearts. The younger of the two men stood transfixed, staring at the beautiful scenery in front of him. His eyes glinted with vigor and promise. The wind tousled his hair and pulled at his clothes like an eager pet greeting its master. One could scarcely be certain which was brighter, the sun in the sky or the fiery red locks of a man longing for new frontiers. Needless to say, this was Adol Christen, whose name was already widely renowned from his prior adventures. At the time of our tale, Adol was 19 years old, placing him on the very cusp of boyhood and manhood. His traveling companion was notably older in appearance. He was a buff, burly man with impossible muscles, around the age of 24 or 25. Okay, so Dogi's a little older than I thought he was. I was thinking 22 or 23 at this point. This was, of course, the former thief, Dogi. Adol's life was once saved by Dogi, and the two of them became inseparable ever since. Except when he was in Salsetta, then they parted ways for a bit. They were like kindred spirits, and had journeyed together for around 2 years at this point. I thought it was 3 years. Maybe the person I thought was Dogi in the first East. No, it couldn't have been, because Adol left his home village like 3 years ago. Maybe it took him a year to get to Asteria. I don't know. The math ain't mathin'. But we know Adol was 16 when he left his village and came to Asteria, and it's 3 years after he left by the point this game takes place. One might call them wanderers, for they would go anywhere together on the slightest whim, just to see what destiny had in store. Until a certain chance encounter, however, neither of them had ever even considered returning to Dogi's homeland. "Look over there, in the distance! You can see Felghana from here!" Dogi exclaimed. He was pointing past the shore, over the ocean. Adol fixed his eyes on the horizon, where he saw a vague outline of Dogi's birthplace. It seemed far, but still well within reach. Their goal was set 3 months prior, when a caravan of traveling merchants visited the town they happened to be passing through. This particular caravan had coincidentally crossed Adol and Dogi's paths numerous times, drawing quite a crowd on every occasion. As soon as they'd unload and set up shop, throngs of people would rush in to buy their exotic goods and hear tales of foreign lands. On that fateful day, Adol and Dogi were among the throngs, hoping to learn all they could from the worldliest visitors around. Sadly, the merchants had already been talking with eager townsfolk for hours, and seemed to have tired of endlessly telling their tales. With masses of curious onlookers nipping at their heels, they began making sour faces and complaining loudly of their ill fortunes. "We need to rest, my friends. Before this, we passed through a land called Felghana, where we worked hard but sold nothing." Perhaps feeling guilty at besmirching the name, they continued, addressing the tribulations being faced by the Felghanan people. Apparently, through strange weather and afflictions of unknown cause, production of crops had reached an all-time low. As a result, the cost of living had increased exorbitantly, making the basic necessities of life much harder to come by. "Seemed true enough to us," interjected one of the merchants. "All the plants in the field had an unhealthy yellowish hue. But the peculiar thing is, the trees in the nearby woods were all green and vibrant. Something was clearly amiss. But certainly, under such conditions, who can blame them for not buying our wares?" We quickly set out for greener pastures, quite literally, in fact. And here we are, albeit weary from the ordeal. As the merchants recovered from their bout of indiscretion, they moved on to another topic. But Dogi did not. He was clearly perturbed. Adal did not notice this change in Dogi's countenance, however. He had become wholly preoccupied by the merchant's further tales. It wasn't until late... Uh-oh, we've got a spam bot. Okay. It wasn't until later that night that Dogi finally spoke up. He revealed to Adal that he had been born and raised in Felghana, in a small town called Redmond. And after leaving Redmond to see the world 8 years prior, he had never once returned to visit. "It's all good. It's taken care of. I kept meaning to," he said, "but I just never got around to it. And now it sounds like they're really in trouble. Adal, Adal put a finger to Dogi's lips, cutting him off mid-sentence. No more needed to be said. Without a word, Adal nodded his consent. Dogi's expression brightened instantly. In that moment, their next destination had become clear. The following morning, they were to set out on a long journey to the town of Redmond, in the land of Felghana. As the two of them made their way across Europa, Dogi recounted tales of his boyhood, painting an image for Adal to envision. "We've been to a lot of different towns, and some have been really gorgeous, but Redmond trumps them all. The streets are filled with a warmth and energy unlike any place else in the world, and the local fruits and crafts are the best. The people, too, are about the nicest you'll ever find. They give you the shirts off their backs if you needed them. I was actually orphaned at a young age, so the whole town basically raised me, and I never once felt lonely or anything. I always helped out at the inn, and the owner there was kind of like my mother. She really looked out for me." That was a bit of a menace, though. Not too surprising, huh? I'd always go out and cause trouble and drag all my friends into it. It's all coming back to me. The blacksmith Adonis, the shopkeeper Cynthia, and the Stoddard children at the mayor's house. Man, they were little brats like me when I left. Hard to imagine them all grown up. I'll have to make sure I stop in and say hi. After a brief pause, Dogi added one last comment. You know, looking back, I'm really lucky to know all the people I know. You included, Adol. I feel the same way about you guys. I mean, some of you I've met in person, others not. But I'm definitely better having known all of you. So thank you all for being part of this journey with me for the last going on 6 years this coming February. You know, you're all a part of my life, whatever form it takes, and I'm really happy that you've all been a part of my experience that's called my life. Adolf felt the same way and nodded his response to Dogi's compliment. A modest smile stretched across his face. Thank you, Cloud. I definitely appreciate you just being here. The two of them stared at Sienna Bay for just a short while longer before walking down the hill toward the harbor. The road into the port town was well maintained, clearly intended for tourism and trade, but it was also strangely empty. It's strangely empty. Thank you, Catman. Here's hoping we'll all be around together for quite some time to come. Or, you know, we'll all be in each other's lives is what I meant to say. As noontime approached, a small group of horse-drawn covered wagons crossed their path, breaking the day's calming silence. Each wagon was decorated with flags, and the passengers were adorned in unusually colorful garments. For Adol and Dogi, this was a dead giveaway that they'd encountered a gypsy caravan of fortune tellers, acrobats, and such. These were a nomadic people who had no home outside their own coaches, and were most renowned for their highly accurate divination. Dogi called out to one of the drivers, and slowly the caravan came to a halt. He asked them if they knew of the troubles in Felghana, and they were indeed aware of the rumors. But sadly, they knew no more than what the traveling merchants had previously revealed. After conversing with them for a short while longer, Dogi suddenly had an idea. He looked over at Adol. Hey, Adol, what say we get our fortune told? Maybe we can find out what's causing all the problems in Felghana that way. Adol nodded his approval, and Dogi paid the fortune teller. She was a beautiful young woman with smooth, glossy black hair that tumbled all the way to the small of her back. Without a word, she took a table from the back of her coach, placed it along the roadside, and centered a crystal ball upon it. She then laid her hands on the ball and stared intently into its depths. And in no time at all, it became clear that the fortune teller had borne witness to something most unholy therein. As Adol, Dogi, and the other gypsies watched, her face gradually drained of color, and her eyes widened with panic. Then, small cracks began appearing along the crystal's surface, and all at once, it shattered out into innumerable shards, as if detonated from within. The fortune teller staggered back from the impact, looking like someone had punched her in the face. And then she collapsed in a heap upon the ground. Instantly, the other gypsies rushed to her aid, administering to her wounds. It took little time for her to regain consciousness. But even back in the safety of the caravan, far from danger, She would not say one word about the horrors she had witnessed. Each time the subject was broached, her face would contort in an expression of pure, uncontrollable, almost primal terror. She would not even speak of other topics. She simply said nothing at all for several minutes. Then she gestured for one of the acrobats to come over and whispered a few words to him. Although loud enough for Adol and Dogi to hear, it was not their language she spoke. The acrobat nodded and approached Dogi. Whatever the fortune teller had seen, it could not be put into words, lest it bring forth a cataclysm beyond imagining, he said. All he could add to this explanation was that Adol and Dogi should stay out of Felghana, and he quite vehemently stressed this point. But to this, Adol would not nod his consent. He had known from the start that this was no mere vacation and had no intention of abandoning his journey out of fear alone. Hold on a moment. I feel a sneeze coming on. Oh, confound it, it wouldn't come out. That's the worst feeling in the world, I tell you. A sneeze that will not manifest itself completely. If I'm going to feel that tickle in my nose, it might as well come out. Forgive me. Let's move on. Dogi was of the same mind and firmly shook his head. The acrobat sighed, knowing he could no more convince these two to stay behind than convince a mountain to stroll away. He returned their money, then joined the rest of the caravan in bowing a polite farewell. The group then made an overly hasty retreat. By the way, the original East 3 was the first adventure RPG I ever beat without saves or without dying. And when I did that back in 1998, I think it took me a little over 4 hours to finish the whole game. Spoiler alert, it's gonna take us longer than that to finish this time. Shortly thereafter, Adol and Dogi arrived at the nearby port town, where they stayed the night to recuperate from this unpleasantness. The next morning, they chartered a small boat and set off, never looking back. And before long, their destination had come into view. "Look, Adol!" exclaimed Dogi. "There it is! Felghana, the land where I grew up! We're getting really close now!" The sun was hidden behind a mountain range. Let me try that again. The sun was hidden behind a mountain range far in the distance, dyeing the earth and sky alike an eerie shade of crimson. Not particularly Catman, but it is going to take us longer than 4 hours to finish it. It's going to take a few streams, but probably not as long as Celceta or Nordics took. Still, Adol could see the land growing ever nearer. As he stared, he couldn't help but think of that poor fortune teller. Dogi, on the other hand, had a wide-eyed, childlike expression on his face. "It's as beautiful as I remember," he said glowingly. Adol simply nodded in silence, never once turning his gaze from the ever-encroaching mass of twilight-hued land before them. I kind of feel like Nordics was, but we'll find out as we go forward. Celceta's up there too. It certainly was beautiful, but there was something else about it as well. Although, East Origin had some length to it as well. But that's because you have to play through it 3 times to really get the full story, since you're playing as a different character each time. If you're playing as just one character, it's not all that long of a game. Yeah. It certainly was beautiful, but there was something else about it as well. Adol had a premonition of sorts. Not all at once, mind you. It was more of a slow realization, dawning on him bit by bit, as the boat carried them closer and closer. It felt as if something sinister awaited them in Felghana, and the more Adol stared, the more threatening this new frontier seemed. Almost there! Just another hop, skip, and a jump, Adol! As Dogi spoke these words, he began rowing the boat more furiously. It almost seemed to Adol that he was giving chase to his boyhood. Adol shook off his misgivings and forced his arm to row in time with Dogi's enthusiasm, and soon the boat was ashore. It is only at this point that the adventure truly began. And that's what sets the story up to where we are now. So we need to go east from here to reach the Tigray Quarry. Oh, I see how we're going to reach that 300 hit combo. One of the trophies is for a 300 hit combo, and at first I wondered how in the world we were going to pull that off. Now it seems a bit more doable. And we've leveled up. And that's going to break the combo, probably. There's Paul.
Sorry. I thought you were a monster. But if you're not a monster, then who are you? And what are you doing here?
Mr. Ricardo sent me.
Adol gave his name and explained that he had come at Ricardo's behest.
Oh, so you're the guy Ricardo got, huh? I don't know where he found you, but you sure do look the part. Okay, thank you. You're a lifesaver, you know that? The mayor's still down in the tunnel as far as I can say. Well, the boss has been searching around the entrance, mainly, but I guess the mayor got himself stuck farther in. But the last time the boss checked in was a while ago. Hasn't come back for so long. I'm starting to get worried. I sure hope the monsters haven't eaten those two. Still gives me chills just thinking about it. Anyway, I really appreciate you coming. Please find Mayor Edgar and old Dewey and bring them out. Alive if you can.
And that reset our combo. I was hoping that wouldn't happen quite yet. I'm gonna see if I can respawn these enemies and maybe try to get my 300 hit combo. Yeah, good. Get that trophy out of the way early. Oops. Okay, good. I was afraid that was going to break the combo. Yeah, it's a good thing we read it. Okay, that might have broken it. Yeah, it did. Drat. What? That's malarkey. Oops. Oh, come on. Okay. One thing about this, by the time I get this combo, I'll be nice and leveled up for the rest of our romp through the quarry. Hey, hey, hey! Where do you think you're going? Uh-oh. Okay, that ran away. Hey, you. I think we're gonna get it. I missed how common of a trophy that is, but I kind of felt like it's not all that common. We need less than 100 more hits. Thank goodness taking a hit doesn't break the combo. Hey. Now that could have the monsters running. If they'd gotten, if I'd gone too long without hitting one of them, that would have broken the combo. Oh, we're almost there. Thank you not to dance around like that when I'm trying to get a 300 hit combo, which I'm about to get. Got it. Nice to have that one out of the way. And it looked like that was looked like that was a silver trophy too. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh, that's right. We got a bronze for watching the prologue novella. Duh. Let's try coming up here, see if there's a chest or something to find. matter because we can't jump across there. The door's locked up tight and solid as a rock. You definitely won't be able to get through without the proper key. I was a little worried that whatever monsters were here would be too much for me to handle right now, but now I'm really not regretting it that I came in here. I was just curious what we'd find in here. Okay, same stuff. Hold up. All right, cool. Well, we're not going to get anything else yet. The only way to go is east. And that's kind of tripping me up watching the enemies or watching the spiders, I mean, just jump to the ceiling like that. I was not expecting them to be able to do that right away. Oh, there's a chest. All right, what's in here? 5 robbers! Nice! Okay, we can't get over there right now. Ooh. Show me the money. Nothing in here. Is that Dewey?
What in the world are you doing here? Can't say as I've ever seen you around before. You from Valestein Castle?
Actually,
Adol introduced himself and explained that he had come at Ricardo's behest.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm Dewey, the head miner in this quarry.
He looks quite different from what I pictured. In the SNES version, he looked pretty young.
I came here to look for Mayor Edgar, but this is as far as I got. He's in serious danger here, though. I can't just leave him. Unfortunately, the monsters down there are in a class all their own. Sword attacks just bounce right off them.
Really? Sword attacks just bounce right off him.
Unless we can find some way of dealing with them, I don't see how we can possibly get the mayor out safely.
Like maybe some sort of special attack?
Maybe check the storehouse. We found some pretty interesting artifacts a while back. Stored them all in there.
Okay, we know where that is.
Locked up tight, but I've got the key right here. Since you're not a miner, though, I'm guessing you have no idea where the storehouse is located.
Wrong. We were there.
It's on the other side of the open-air strip mining chamber. That big vertical shaft you pass through. There's a room with 2 doors at the bottom. It's the one on the left. Help yourself to anything you find in there. I hate to be so useless, but I guess the rest is up to you. Thanks muchly, adventurer. You're a good man.
I wonder if we can go in that other door, too. I wonder. Huh. I wondered what would happen if we jumped down there. Good to know it wasn't a death sentence. Okay, I see how it works now. I was just trying to see how the pathway worked. Okay, so we know that door on the left is the one we want to open. But I want to check this other door first. Nope. Hey, at least we tried. Let's go back and save. Because this is looking like there's going to be a boss fight here.
Stop.
Uh-oh.
My name is Dulan, Shade of the Great Will. I would have you show me your abilities, red-haired swordsman.
That's what I thought. Okay. We're doing good damage. And now we know we just attack him once his force field goes down, which will happen in time. Hey, if you know the people behind Slice, tell them to make it like they used to, or at least give us that option. That healthy stuff just is not doing the trick for me. Had enough?
Is that the best you have to offer?
No.
Still, you have an unmistakable spark in your eyes. The juncture. I must report this at once.
Okay, so a lot of the boss fights result in trophies. Okay, elemental bracelets grant add-all magical abilities. Press the magic button, defaults to R1 while a bracelet is equipped. Unleashes a magic attack. The type of attack varies greatly with each bracelet. If your path is blocked, you'll often be able to use magic to forge a new route, allowing your adventure to continue unabated. Using your magic to exploit an enemy's elemental weakness is often the key to victory. When swords fail, magic thrives. Okay. This elemental bracelet commands the power of fire. Unleashes fireballs at your unsuspecting foes. If your target is out of reach or you simply don't want to engage in close quarters combat, fireballs are a great way to keep your distance. Okay, so charge attack. I'm wondering if we have to have like gems or something to power it up. But I don't think that's going to get us across to bridge that gap that we saw earlier. We're going to have to get over there another way. We need 100,000 gold in order to get the gold trophy. Okay, yeah. It's gonna require something else. Take all that. Okay, so now we know we can fight the monsters down below since we have that fire magic power. Oh, I see you found that bracelet we unearthed here a while ago. Not too shabby an artifact, but I don't know. I just got an eerie feeling from it. Seems powerful, scary even. None of us wanted it, so we put it in storage. But you can use it, I'll bet. Against the monsters down below. Well, you're not wrong, dude. So we're gonna come over here. Nope. Can't open the barrel. And we have yet to come across anything that we can't take out with the sword. I was expecting to find nothing but enemies that you had to have the sword to beat. And I see whatever will get us across that other gap. We'll need that for the gap we just saw as well. Oh. It looks like those can be beaten with a sword. It'll just take forever. Ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah, let's use the magic. Oh. Maybe next time warn me that you're coming. Oh. Give me that. Come here. Oh. Oops. There sure are a lot of these things. More just keep spawning. Any more? You may have just saved your own souls. Huh. Gotta keep that chest in mind. Now, who is that?
Who are you? And what are you doing in a place like this?
Is that the mayor?
I'm here to lend you a hand.
Adol introduced himself and explained that he had come to rescue Mayor Edgar.
Adventurer? Well, if you're looking for Mayor Edgar, here I am. Adol, was it? Thank you for coming all this way. I was accosted by monsters and managed to lose them here, but hurt my leg quite badly in the process. I was actually just about to hobble my way into the strange old ruins beyond here when you showed up.
Leave that to me. You're in no condition to be going into a place like that.
They're quite peculiar. I peeked my head in earlier, and I must say I've never seen anything like them before. Adol, I'm sorry to impose upon you even further, especially since we've only just met. But would you be willing to examine these ruins in my place? With my injured leg, I fear what might happen to me should any more monsters attack. But we've come all this way. I know it's rude of me to ask, but I'm sure you're just as curious as I am, no? So please, would you do me this favor?
He knows Adol pretty well, even though they've just met. Curiosity is his middle name. I don't know how I found that out. Because, I mean, his middle name's certainly never mentioned. Uh-oh. Azure Queen of Death, Eliphale. Oops. Uh-oh. Wow. Uh-oh. Ow! And there's my first death of the game. I was hoping I wouldn't die quite so soon, but here we are. At least now I know a bit more how to approach this fight. And that sword attacks will not work on her. Of course, I'm not okay with her changing up her projectiles in the middle of the fight. I was about to say, I was beginning to wonder when she was going to start using that new projectile. Ow. All right, she's down. Look what she left behind. A Moonstar statue. I think it was called the Sun statue in the SNES version. Okay, so this is where our key items are. And there's 24 of them.
What are you doing here?
You don't listen very well. I believe we handed down a royal edict to close the quarry, did we not? If you'd just done as you were told, you wouldn't have gotten hurt. So spare me the lecture. Just do as Lord Memoire asks.
You... I wondered what had become of you, but I'd never imagined. You aren't really working for Count Memoire, are you?
Oh, but I am. I'm a devoted knight in service of the great Lord Memoire. Therefore, I'll thank you to keep a respectful tone when you address me. Who goes there? You aren't from Redmont. What business have you here?
So,
Adal gave his name and explained the circumstances of his arrival in Felghana.
a friend of Dogi's? I never thought he'd come back. And certainly not now. No matter. Lord Memoire's orders were explicit regarding the closure of the quarry. If you've come to lead this old man out of here, then I suggest you do so immediately.
Wait! What about Elena? Or do you even care that she's been worried sick about you? She doesn't even know if you're alive or dead.
I've grown weary of playing nursemaid. She's 17. She's old enough to cope without her big brother.
If you haven't caught on by now, that's Chester, Elena's brother.
You should tell her to forget about me. Hell, coming from you, she might even do it. But where are my manners? It would seem I've forgotten to introduce myself. I am Chester Stoddart, a high-ranking knight in service of Felghana's lord, His Grace, Count Memoire. Adal, was it? As an adventurer, I know you may be tempted, but I'd advise you not to get involved in our politics.
All right, Catman, have a great night. It's been great having you as always. So tomorrow's game is going to be Ray Force. I remembered it earlier today. That's going to be our Taito Tuesday game for this week.
That is, of course, unless you are eager to die.
Count Memoire is the Lord of Felghana, though he's not native to this land. He's actually from Rome. From the moment he took power here, he levied exorbitantly high taxes and pressured us into forced labor.
Yeah, I think it's a shmup, but I could be wrong. I know it's one I'm personally not very familiar with, but I'll get acquainted with it tomorrow, and I look forward to it.
Then, a few days ago, he ordered us to shut down Tigre Quarry, the town's primary source of income. Naturally, we refused, since he gave us absolutely no reason. And that's about when you showed up. To think that Chester would willingly serve a man like that. What could possibly be running through his head? He left his little sister behind, too, and she hasn't heard a word from him in months. Honestly, I have a hard time believing it. Even now, knowing what I
true. And what am I supposed to do? Just tell Eleanor to try and forget about him? I couldn't possibly agree to that. I'd never be so callous.
No.
Did she overhear that?
Eleanor? How long have you been listening?
I heard you made it home from the quarry, and that you were hurt. So I thought I'd stop by to check on you. And I overheard your whole conversation. I'm sorry.
Eleanor! It's good to know Chester's all right, at least. But that's little consolation right now. Ever since they were orphaned 12 years ago, those two have really watched out for one another. Up until about 3 years ago, they lived at my house, and I'd always put Chester in charge whenever I was away. I figured it would teach him to be a responsible young man, though, honestly, I never did get the hang of raising him. Adol, could I persuade you to look in on Eleanor for me? Right now, I think she might find it easier to open up to an impartial third party.
This bottle's always getting away on me. There's someone else I want to look in on too. I can't remember her name. I'm very worried. If only I had tried a little harder to stop Father Pierre. Father Pierre? What happened with him? As I'm sure you've noticed, the quarry's basically nothing but a huge monster nest at the moment. We could deal with Memoire breathing down our necks, but the monsters pose a real threat. So as much as we hate to do it, we're actually going to shut down mining operations for however long we need to. Been lots of bad things happening at the quarry lately. Not too long ago, one of the wooden bridges we built in there came tumbling down. One of our apprentice miners died in that one. Bob was his name. I can't even bear to think about it, or I might start crying again. I don't know how we've ever managed without you, Adol. Mayor Edgar is the only thing standing between us and Memoire's oppressive tyranny. And without you, he'd be gone. The quarry's closure will hit us like a ton of bricks, but we'll manage. As long as we have Mayor Edgar, we'll survive.
Shutting down the quarry is completely absurd. That quarry is the lifeblood of this town. Our work there has been a source of pride for generations of miners. Why the hell is Dewey allowing this to go through? Why isn't he fighting it? I just realized I've been ranting to a complete stranger. Wait, aren't you that swordsman who rescued my son? Sorry, I've just been thinking about the situation in the quarry a lot lately. Every time it makes my blood boil. Ever since they closed it, the Countsmen have been seen going in and out like they own the place. It's aggravating. That quarry is far too important to this town and everyone in it for us to just look the other way. At any rate, I hear you wiped out all the monsters down there. Even the big ones that nested in the deepest mines. Even if you're not from Redmont, you're a true friend to this town. Here, I've got something for you.
That's a lot of Ravalor.
I hope my son grows a spine like yours one of these days.
Huh. Whoever his son may be. The mayor's always had our backs, but I'm not sure he can do anything more for us now that the mine's a monster nest. Though honestly, I could deal with monsters. Part of me wishes the Count would just rescind his edict. And lower our taxes too. Because monsters or no, if we can't resume mining soon, we're financially done for. We may have to look into other means of supporting the town.
What to do? With the quarry closed, I'll never get my hands on any Ravel ore. My investors will all drop me, and I'll be ruined. I don't look forward to the mountains of debt that await me when I get back to Rum. Failure. Thy name is Antonio. But wait! You're the type that people randomly send on quests, aren't you? Please, sir, sell me some Ravel ore. If you can find me just enough to keep my backers from breaking my kneecaps, I'll buy it from you at top gold. What do you think? An irresistible offer, no?
How much are you looking for?
I swear, I'll pay handsomely. You have to spend money to make money after all. Just 10 pieces. 10 pieces of Ravel.
Well, I have that much. Oh, hey, looks like you've stumbled upon some Ravel ore. You'd be willing to sell me 10 hunks of it for 500 gold? All right, the deal is done. Here's your 500 gold. If you get any more spare Ravel ore in the future, you know where I'll be. Next up, let's see if you can find me... How about 50 hunks of Ravel ore? What do you say? Don't have anywhere near that much right now, dude. Besides, I gotta have some for myself to upgrade my equipment. Ah, there she is. We can't play outside the town, so me and Hugo are playing hide and seek. He's it, and I thought this would be a real good hiding place. But I'm a little scared because look, you can see something shiny at the bottom. What is that? It could be a shiny monster, or maybe it's treasure. Arr! But it could be sharp treasure. Ow! Adol pulled up the shiny object from the bottom of the well. Sweet! Thanks for telling me.
So what was it? I want to see. Show me. Show me.
Adol informed her that it was only Ravel ore.
Aw, boo. I was hoping it'd be diamonds or something. But thanks for showing me anyway. Most people would have just told me not to bother them. Chester was always real nice to me, too. I'd always be up in his business, and he never once scolded me for it. He'd always play with me and Elena, and he even took us on walks outside the town sometimes. And he taught me how to fish, too. You'd think it'd be boring, but it's not. It's actually real fun. He's not here anymore, though. He went someplace far away. Sometimes, I feel like he's never gonna come back.
Chester was always real nice to me. I'd always be up in his business and he never once scolded me for it. He'd always play with me and Elena, and he even took us on walks outside the village, outside the town sometimes.
All right, Elena, what's on your mind?
Chester. Adol. I'm sorry. I've just got a lot on my mind. My brother gave me this pendant. He left it here in a letter for me on the day he vanished. I guess it makes me feel closer to him when I wear it. But In reality, it was closer than I ever realized all this time. I'm so sorry, Adol. So many horrible rumors have been going around about my brother. And then, to hear the man who raised me confirm them all? I just want to know what's happening and why. He must have a reason, right? Maybe I'm being selfish. I should just be grateful he's alive. In a way, it's like a weight I've been carrying for the last 6 months has been lifted from me. I may not know what's going through his mind just yet, but I do know that if I could talk to him, just talk to him, then things might go back to normal. So, don't worry about me. I'll be okay. But thank you for your concern, Adol. I really do appreciate it.
So, what Father Pierre said was true. He mentioned that he caught sight of a man who looked like my brother in front of the ruins to the northeast. That's where I was heading when you found me. I went out to see if I could catch sight of him myself. Why would he want to go to such a ghastly place, though?
Well, I guess that's our next stop. Before we go there, let's do some tempering.
What do you got for me? This the one? Good to go.
Okay, that's maxed.
Good to go. This the one? Good to go. This the one? Good to go. This the one? Good to go. Come again.
I don't want to spend a whole lot of gold right now.
You actually went into the mines? The scary monster-infested mines? All by yourself? Just to rescue our mayor. It's like you're some kind of mythical hero from a storybook. Your name is Adol, right? I hear you're one of those sword-wielding adventurer types who go around saving the world. Huh, Dogi certainly has good taste in best friends, it seems. Here, I have something for you. Think of it as a thank you gift for being so good to Dogi. You really set him on the right path.
Oh, nice!
I think you're just the role model my son needs, too. He's always spouting nonsense and playing practical jokes on people. I just don't know what to do with him.
Oh. In the SNES version, you can use those 3 times before they break. The townsfolk have never liked the Count much, even from the outset. He's levied ridiculously high taxes, and even taken people from the town to help build his castle. Rumor has it he also hired a lot of mercenaries to do his bidding, knifing them on the spot as a lure. I think even most Roman politicians would disapprove of his tactics. I left a wife and son behind in Garmin. I wonder how they're doing these days. If you can get work as a knight, you're in for an easy ride. Life becomes like a never-ending party. My wife was dead set against the whole idea, but I did it anyway. And what do you know? She was right, as always.
Thank you so much, Adol. You've done us all a great service by bringing our men back safe and sound. Is it true you took down a giant monster in there? Everyone in town's been talking about the new red-headed hero who showed up out of the blue to save the day. I can honestly say I'm proud to have you staying under my roof.
guess I'll check around and see if anybody has like exclamation points. That would mean they have something important to say or perhaps give us. Oh, duh. We don't have any more Robble ore. Much less the amount he's asking.
You went to the quarry, didn't you? That bridge. Did you see the collapsed bridge? Oh, God. Never mind. Just pretend I didn't say anything.
All right. I want to at least look around the Ilvern ruins a little bit before, or Ilburn ruins, however it's pronounced, before I call it tonight. So we got to go northeast to get there. I think over this way. Okay, yeah. That's Ilvern. Gate is shut and locked and absolutely impassable without the proper key. I guess we gotta go talk to Edgar. He's the only one I could think of who would have a key to that place. But why did he just have the smiley face icon? I think that means they'll just make small talk if you try talking to him. Let's see. It just bothers me that you had to fight such a huge creature. To say nothing of it having that evil-looking statue in its possession. I have to wonder if the statue may have been what Memoire was after when he shut down the quarry.
So what Father Pierre said was true. He mentioned that he caught sight of a man who looked like my brother in front of the ruins to the northeast. That's where I was heading when you found me. I went out to see if I could catch sight of him myself. Why would he want to go to such a ghastly place, though?
Huh.
Oh.
This has become quite serious indeed.
So who is he?
Why would Father Pierre go to such a place?
Please, forgive me. I should have tried harder to stop him.
My. Such blazing red hair. You must be Adol. I've heard murmurings about you amongst the townsfolk. My name is Nicholas. I am head of the Felghana diocese. I was also the town's priest until 3 years ago. Now I serve at the castle, while Father Pierre enlightens the town. I still drop by from time to time, though. Old habits do die hard, as they say. I fear, however, that my visit today may be a bit less transient than usual on account of Father Pierre's absence. Are you familiar with the Ilburn's ruins to the northeast of here? They are the remnants of a temple used by practitioners of a pagan religion from a long-lost era. It would seem that Father Pierre has taken it upon himself to visit that temple for purposes unknown.
It's unsafe in every regard. There's a dormant volcano behind it which has recently become active anew. And popular rumor suggests the place is infested with monsters of all shapes and sizes.
All the more reason for concern. One cannot help but fear the worst. Adol Christian, they say you're the one who rescued Mayor Edgar from the quarry. Is this true? Given your considerable skill, might I humbly request you undertake another such mission to find Father Pierre? Such selfless courage. On behalf of the church, you have my deepest gratitude. I believe you will be needing this.
Thank you, good sir.
The Ilburn's ruins are just off the road, to the northeast of here. This key opens the access gate. Please, do whatever you can to ensure the safety of Father Pierre. May God be with you. Fight well, adventurer.
I've heard many unsavory rumors about the Ilburn's ruins. Even we members of the clergy rarely ever set foot within that accursed place. Why, in the name of all that is holy, would Father Pierre see fit to go there? What could he possibly be looking for? Heh, I guess I was wrong about you, mister. You really saved the mayor? Man, you must be super duper strong. He's not here right now, but Chester was super duper strong like that too. You gotta tell me sometime how you beat the monsters. Promise you'll tell me, Mr. Adol. So this direction up here leads to the Elder Mountains where Dogi went. We'll be joining him eventually, but not right away. All right, let's save for the time being. That's taking some getting used to, having trophies pop up like every time we go to a new area. Yoo-hoo. Come on. John Talbane with a whip. That's... that's something else that's going to take some getting used to. Oh, geez. Uh-oh.
I was hoping to get out of spending money for the time being, so I could try for that. Oh wow. Well, maybe I can get away with it. For that 100,000 gold trophy was what I was talking about. Oh, wow. It's a nice find. Okay, yeah, that was what I was looking for. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. They're worth pretty good experience, at least. Uh-oh. I kind of remember that. Oh. I thought I remembered that going back down eventually. Okay. I know what I'm going to need to get over there, or I have a good idea. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Even the fire's not working. I know what will in that case. All right, Cloud. Thanks so much for being here. So once again, our Taito Tuesday game for tomorrow is going to be Ray Force. And then Sega Saturday for this week, we're going to look at the original Virtua Fighter. I'm excited for that one. I've always been a big fan of that game. Honestly, I like Virtua Fighter better than Tekken, because the fighting's faster paced, which really appeals to me. There's a chest. Sweet. We certainly need the extra defense. That's a lot of Ravelor. Thank goodness for all those herbs we were finding. I think we're going to head back to the entrance and get ready to call it for the night. We're going to need wind magic to take those down. Which is going to require finding a different artifact. All right, cool. I can't get over those wolves looking like John Talbane wielding a whip. When those of us who played Darkstalkers remember him wielding nunchucks. Okay, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, we came up here. All right. Hold on a second. I want to go back to town and reinforce the small shield. I do remember that being something you had to find, though. Like the large shield you could buy in the SNES version, but you couldn't buy the small one.
What do you got for me?
Holy cow.
This the one? Good to go. Come again.
gonna need a lot more Ravel ore. I wasn't expecting it to cost that much. Then again, they did say that sometimes enemies would get it stuck in their fur. We just haven't encountered any yet that just up and dropped Ravel. It'd be great if we did. All right, let's go ahead and save here, and we are going to go ahead and call it for the night. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Just a reminder, tomorrow is Taito Tuesday. We will be playing Ray Force. And then Saturday, for Sega Saturday, we'll be playing the original Virtua Fighter. The rest of the week, we'll be working on Ys, The Oath, and Felghana. I'm so happy we're getting to experience one of my favorite games in the series story-wise. On that note, it is now time to find someone to raid. Let's see who is on tonight. Slay with Brandy is on playing Minecraft. They're a member of the Dragon Clan, which is one of the stream teams I belong to, and I don't think I've had a chance to connect with them yet. And I'd like to. Might help if I type that correctly. Okay, good. We're all set. Once again, folks, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. I'll see you back tomorrow when we play Ray Force for Taito Tuesday. But for now, Thunderfist 1978, signing off.